Hello and welcome to Attention Central Texas. I'm your host, Charles Jenkins, and today in the studio we have Miss Amy Diaz, who's the coordinator for the 2018 National Day of Prayer. Hello and welcome to today's show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Let's just get right into it. Tell us a little bit about the National Day of Prayer. I know earlier in talking with you, you talked about you were in the background, but now you're in the forefront. Just tell us, how's it been and anything about the National Day of Prayer?
Well, it is definitely something new for me because I am used to being in the background, and so now being the front runner, like you said, it's an honor and it's a privilege to be able to do that. Not only is it an honor, I feel very blessed to be able to coordinate with the team and just come together and just make it happen.
Yeah.
And so we'll be able to do that Thursday, May the 3rd for National Day of Prayer.
And when you talk about coordinate with the team, how much time goes into preparation and getting people together? Because I know from going last year, they had 50 different prayer groups that represent each state, and it was pretty neat to watch. So tell us how much just time and energy goes into preparing for something this big.
Well, the blessing in that situation is that because there was, a coordinator before me, she has already established that diagram for, the exposition center. So that's something that that has been handed down to me. So I'm just going to kind of keep that vision alive for, the team. And so, yes, we at the exposition center, we'll have the 50 states, and we'll have, different people, representing those states, and praying for those states. Other than that, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's really easy. I feel like it's easy and it's hard, but as far as the preparation time, man, getting with the leaders, a group of leaders in our town, that's hard in itself because we're all like, oh, can you make it this day? Can you make it this day? So that is tedious, and I would say that's probably the hardest part about organizing everything together.
And why is it so important to have a National Day of Prayer?
Oh, wow. To me, it's super important. It's something that I've been associated with for the last 4 years, this being my 4th year. To me, it's just something that I feel like the enemy has tried to come in and just, take from us publicly, where they talk about we can't, that God shouldn't be in the schools, that he shouldn't be in the government, they're taking down, statues and certain things, To me, this is a day that has been given to us as Christians, for us to unify. And that's what I love about this year, 2018. It's unity for 2018. So that's the theme. And just to unify together as different denominations. It's not just about the non-denomination or the Catholic organization, whatever it may be. It's where we all can come together and just unify and just lift up God's name.
Well, I think it's about the way Christ sees the church.
Right.
He doesn't see black, he doesn't see white, he doesn't see Hispanic, he sees the body.
Right.
And the body consists of Catholics, Baptists, Jewish people, whatever that consists of, I think. And you're right, I love the title, Unifying, Coming Together, because we should do a lot more of it. And with everything that's going on around us, it should question us to say, what are we doing to unify individual churches, individual people? What are we all doing to unify? I see you shaking your head. Did you have some thoughts on that?
No, I agree completely with you. You're right. At the end of the day, we think of demographics only being, as far as, just different churches or whatever, but you're right, it does consist of Hispanics, blacks and whites, and so I totally agree.
It's the prettiest picture, and a lot of people say United States is a melting pot where we should get together and don't get me wrong, if people watching this and say, well, our church already do that, good for you, but we need to expand it out to different churches, different cities, and we need every state to have just that unity, and we will see the true power of God really
manifest itself.
Yep.
Yes,
so you
that's
took the
awesome.
words out my mouth, but yep, manifest itself. And we will see 1 Chronicles 7:14 come to life. When my people who are called by my name humble themselves, pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, and then he'll hear from heaven and healed this land. So if you want to see the land healed, we got to come together and be humble. And
yes,
the Lord, that's what he wants.
right. I
What,
completely agree.
give us the date again, the time, and I know you say it's at the Expo Center, but share the date and the time of it again.
So it's Thursday, May the 3rd. It's at 7 p.m. and it's going to be in the events room, which is upstairs. And so that's where we, have that diagram to
Yes.
have each 50 states, and we have facilitators for the different topics, as such as church, government, family, and the military. So we're kind of covering everything.
That's pretty cool. What, give us a little taste of what being behind the scenes was like for you for the past 3 years, because I know this year you're taking a big step. What was that like? Just, what did you do? Got people together? What did you do?
It was a lot more relaxing for sure. So, as far as relaxing, you could just kind of relax and just call on people, hey, Pastor, can you come and join us? Ask your church to come out and join us. And, I guess it's just easier. As far as being the front runner, you're just kind of like, you want it to be perfect. You want, you want God to manifest himself like he always has. And, sometimes, the enemy comes in and tries to, mess with your mind a little bit, like, you're not going to be able to do it as good as they did, So at the end of the day, I have to know that who my God is, and I know that my God is going to be able to make everything happen, and it'll be perfect because, it's what we're doing for him, and so.
And when we say the National Day, so which says this is going on all around the country, have you ever been to any other areas, like to Austin or to any local ones that they do other than the one you guys do at the Expo Center?
No, sir, I haven't. One thing that I have done is I went on to nationaldayofprayer.org, and they have a lot of information on what's happening in different areas. But I haven't reached out to branched out to.
And if you don't mind sharing, what are some of those things, if you remember, that's happening in other areas that people are put at the forefront to pray about?
Mostly that what I see is that they really, it's funny because they kind of didn't want you to think too much about the preparation. They wanted you to really go out there and just bring people together and just watch God work. And for me, I'm the type of person that has to have her I's dotted and her T's crossed. So I'm just like, Lord, this may, that you might have chosen the wrong person, and so to say. But at the end of it, I do keep that in the back of my mind. That's the most important, just reaching out to the churches, and tell them, come out and join us, come and celebrate with us, because at the end of the day, it's a celebration. It's a celebration where we're all going to come together because it's a day that's been given to us, and so I just thank God for that.
And I know National Day of Prayer is a day, but just overall in general, share your thoughts on why prayer is important all the time.
Man, when it comes to prayer, I always say it's the main deal. It's the real deal. A lot of people say that, kind of like what we're talking about, preparing, and, there's a date for us. When you're sick, people say pray about it, but I feel like people think of it as a cliche, and so it's not. It's the main antidote, so to say. You know what I mean? So in order to make things happen, you got to pray. If something's going wrong, you got to pray, so I'm a big believer in prayer.
I totally agree with you, and I think we should do a lot more of praying before things happen.
Absolutely.
Because here in America, and I fall short of it myself, is things are happening, then I pray. And it's like, no, when Jesus was in the boat, or not even just the boat, he was able to sleep in the boat because he prayed when things were calm.
Right.
And when things are calm, that's when you pray. But a lot of people pray when things happen. Right. And like me, sometimes we have to be intentional about prayer. And my friends kind of laugh at me because I have alarms set on my phone. And when I look at the phone, it says pray. But if I don't, I'll forget about it. And but we have to be that intentional about praying morning, noon. We eat 3 times a day, so I think it should be easy to pray 3 times a day. And it's funny because when those times come, that's when the enemy tries to put other things in your way to do. Think about it. You don't get tired till it's time to pray.
Right,
at night.
or read
you
your
know what I'm
Bible.
saying? Yeah, or read. It's just crazy. But I really appreciate you guys doing this. I had a blast last year, and it was awesome seeing just people in this area representing, you know, different states,
Right.
Alaska, Alabama, Louisiana. It was just so awesome to see people. And I know people in those states know people are praying for them, but people right here in Central Texas just, and it's a beautiful sight to see people coming together
Absolutely.
with the common purpose of praying for the country.
Right. I agree.
What, so who are some of the people that's, if you don't mind sharing the name, who are some of the people that's working on this with you that you probably want to say thanks to?
Oh, first of all, I would like to say thank you to Ruth Daniel, because, you know, she's always been the coordinator. She's been the coordinator for years now. And then Pastor Robert Beeman, big thank you to him, because he's the one that, he's a pusher, you know what I mean? He gets you in there, and he wants you to get busy. And so, I appreciate that, because at the end of the day, you know, fear is like, you know, a big deal in everything, you know. And so with that being said, you know, Robert doesn't have time for that. So he always says, you know, let's get moving.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, okay, you know, let me do that for you. So.
What, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share before we close out the program?
I guess my biggest thing is on Thursday, May the 3rd at 7 p.m. at the Expo Center, I just really would like for all the churches to come together. Even if you don't even go to church and you know, they're happen to just be flipping through the channels, I just hope that they would find, you know, I'm inviting them, you know, personally inviting them to come out and just fellowship with us, celebrate with us, you know, see what it is to serve God, you know, to pray and to worship. I love that we have, you've been there before, so you know that we get to worship, you know, between the topics and stuff like that. So I love the worship, and it's so powerful.
Oh, yeah. And I think worship sets the tone for the prayer and vice versa. But Amy, I want to take this time to say thank you for being on the show. Thank you for coordinating this so needed cause of just praying for the nation, and thanks for what you do.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you, our viewers, for tuning in to Attention Central Texas.